Hey there, church. I'm standing under the new awning that just went up to replace the one that blew down last November. And I am going to share a Let in a Bag video for just a moment, especially for families. But before I do that, families, I want to invite you, especially those with younger kids, to an event that we're having on Saturday the 27th, just as we get ready for Holy Week the next day on Palm Sunday. We are going to have a resurrection garden event, a journey to the resurrection, where we're going to make resurrection gardens. We're going to hear the story of Jesus' death for us and resurrection for us and talk about God's love. We're going to have some snacks, just hang out with our friends, do distancing and all that, of course, and also make Easter eggs. It's great that we're beginning to have these gatherings again for those who are ready for that. Then we will be in Holy Week. On the 28th, that's Palm Sunday, we're going to have a palm branch procession. On Thursday, we will observe Maundy Thursday with communion and leadership from the choir. That will be an in-person service, which will also be live streamed. Then on Good Friday, we will have a prayer vigil from 12 noon to 8 p.m. when the sanctuary will be open for people to come and go as they wish and receive a prayer guide that will enable them as individuals or couples or even as families to pray together for our world, for ourselves, for people we love, coming to Jesus as the one who carried our infirmities and bore our diseases, as Isaiah 53 says. And goodness knows that we have been through a year where we have known infirmity and disease. So a good time to remember Jesus suffering with and for our world. You could even break your prayer out and to walk onto the church grounds if it's a nicer day than this, and pray even walking up and down 306, praying for our community. And then on Easter Day, we will celebrate Jesus' resurrection with 3 in-person services. At 7 a.m., we will have an outdoor sunrise service. At 9 and 10:30 a.m., we will have indoor communion services. The 9 a.m. service will feature leadership from a brass ensemble. The 10:30 a.m. service will feature leadership from the Christ Church Choir. We're asking you to make reservations saying which service you will go to, because we're monitoring and just want to be sure that we will have enough space to do our distancing. So please, if you are receiving this e-update, do make a reservation using the Google form that is on this e-update, or by calling the church office 729-1688 and say which of the services you will go to. So now let's get to Lent in a Bag. Our Lent in a Bag symbol this week is a shell. Shells ordinarily live underwater, right? And that reminds us of a time when Jesus went underwater when he was baptized. We hear the story of Jesus' baptism in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 3, beginning at verse 21. Here it is. When all the people were being baptized, and Jesus was baptized too, he was praying, and heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove. And a voice came from heaven, "You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." And so Jesus goes underwater when John baptizes him, and he comes up out of the water and he hears this voice from heaven, "You are my beloved." Like the water was drenching his skin and God's love was drenching his whole life. God saying, "I love you no matter what. I simply love you all the time." And that's something that we can forget, something I know that I need to hear when I'm going through a hard time. When is it that you really need to know God's love? When is it that you've remembered God's love, or someone has shared God's love with you and it's made a difference for you in how things go? God's love for the whole world and for each of us makes all the difference in life. And we're coming up on the week that shows that to us the most, Holy Week. So let's keep on preparing for it. Please do make a reservation to say when you're coming for Easter so we can all celebrate well together. Let's keep on being people marked by God's love, people who let it flow in the world, loving God, sharing relationships, serving others from the heart of Christ.